Hi guys, Majestic Dad here with another trade-up video for you. This is a really good one and it's called Rising Fun. Hopefully you get what I did there. It's all based on Rising Sun collection trade-ups. What I want to do today is show you why Rising Sun is my favourite collection. Not only because the skins are pretty good, but also because it's slightly overlooked as far as profitability goes. And I want to go through some numbers and I'm going to do the trade ups and show you exactly what I mean. So looking at the first trade up that we need to do, which is a mil-spec trade up. So this is where we get consumer skins. We want to go up to the skins you can see on the screen here, which are mil-spec skins. Now I've put in a few different types of collection. We're not looking at case collections here, not going to include those because we're looking at sort of larger collections which are more profitable. So we're looking at one of the new Broker Fang collections, one of the old Shattered Web collections, Rising Sun, and then one of the old collections, which is Cobblestone. All of these are interchangeable, obviously, apart from Rising Sun. So Havoc could be Ancient, St. Mark could be Norse, Cobble could be Gods and Monsters. Doesn't make much difference. It's just to try and show you the idea of what you're trading up to. And all of this is based on the new theory. So this is the theory that more outcomes means more chance of achieving one of those outcomes. So what I mean by that is that in the examples we've got on the screenshot here, we can see that if we put in 3 Havoc outcomes or 3 St. Mark outcomes with 7 mil-specs that have 1 outcome, for instance the Safe House Acid Fades, we know that the only outcome from them can be the M4 Nitro, which we hate, and if we use 3 of any of these 2 collections, we've got about a 46% chance of winning and hitting the right thing we want. With Rising Sun we've got a little bit less, 7% less at 39%, and with Cobblestone we've got just 30%. Obviously one caveat to think about here is the cost of the inputs and the outputs. This is where Rising Sun I think is pretty good, because even though it's a bit less at 39%, the outcomes are pretty profitable, and I'm going to show you what I mean in our first trade up here. So here's our first trade up. Looks really profitable. We've only spent £30 at this point. Don't forget, Trade Up Spy link is in the description. Go and follow my link to get a couple of free days. Definitely worth using Trade Up Spy, as you know they are the best site for calculating your trade ups. So we did really well and hit our first trade up. What we want to do now is use that in our second trade up. So we could sell it and we'd get a nice little profit on that, because we've got about 3 times the profit as far as outcomes go for the cost we put in, and we spent £30 so far. What we want to do is buy 9 mil-spec, we want to buy 9 mil-spec skins. And again, I go for the Safe House here. So Train to go up to mil-spec and Safe House to go up to restricted. You could use loads of others, so Italy, Lake, Bank, Dust 2, any of those, but the reason why I like the Safe House is because they're reasonably good price and you can get them in super low floats. So I'm going for a really low float restricted output here. So this is where Rising Sun is really good, because it has 4 outcomes. Whereas the Havoc and the St. Marks only have 3, and the Cobblestone only has 2, it means we've actually got 6% more chance to hit the Rising Sun collection than the St. Marks or the Havocs, and we've got nearly double our chance to hit the Rising Sun over the Cobblestone. Again, Cobblestone outcomes are obviously a lot more profitable, but they're much harder to hit. And the St. Marks and Havocs, obviously Havoc is cheaper to do anyway, but the outcomes are pretty cheap. And St. Marks is quite similar to Rising Sun. We have a 31% to hit a Rising Sun, whereas we have 25 to hit St. Marks or Havoc, and only 18 to hit Cobblestone. This means that if we hit our first and our second trade ups, we've got just over 12% chance to be successful at hitting both of those trade ups. So that does seem pretty low when you put the two together, but obviously that's the chance of hitting both of those in a row successfully. If you did a few of the Rising Sun mil-spec trade ups, you might lose the odd one, but if you hit a couple, that's great. And again, the same with this one. You might miss one or two, but if you hit a couple, I've been really lucky with these. I've probably hit 50% or more, and then it can be really profitable. So let's go and do this trade up and see how we can do. And the benefit with this is that we've only spent £42 and we've got a potential roughly 300 back. It's actually worth mentioning here, if you didn't want to do the first trade up, an alternative to this is that you could just try and buy any level of mil-spec Rising Sun skin that you see on the market. I've done this with Battle Scarred, Well Worn, Field Tested, all of them. If you can get them for a really good price and just combine them with the Safe House really low outputs, you're always going to get a really decent outcome. Even with like a Field Tested or Well Worn, you can still get like a 0.1 or 0.2 factory new outcome, which is obviously going to sell for a bit more. So this is what our trade up looks like. It's pretty rough, but we've spent at this point probably around £42.30, and we've got outcomes that I've estimated around £280 each. You can actually get a bit more for these, I think, on the market, or if you're going to put them onto buff, obviously you'd probably get less, but on buff that's worth a bit more in the long run. And these are the outcomes that we're looking for. So let's go and do this trade up. So there we have it, nice hit. Good luck if you try these yourself, and catch you in the next one.